You work with these people all day. You see more of them in your family. You should be able to spot the signs if they've got a problem. It's not, like this image of the scaffolder. The mental health is all about drugs and drink. That's a very British thing. The actual mental health issues are about like finances. There is some addiction, but there's other issues there, and it's very easy for people just to bash and hate and say, oh yeah, it's because you're all taking drugs and drinking. There's other issues out there. There's other problems with mental health, and it affects everyone of every age differently. The earlier we spot these problems, the less suicides we'll have, and we need to stop it. Like 1 in 4 construction workers, so that's 1 in 4 scaffolders, will potentially kill themselves. Someone somewhere has just taken their life.
Welcome back to the show. It's me, Dr. Scaffold. You may notice the new look. A bit of 90s nostalgia in the haircut. And no, it's not just a midlife crisis. It's deliberate. My head shave has raised over 5,000 so far for mental health, which shows how many people in and around our amazing trade want to back something real, not just at another awareness week. Behind the steel, the graft and the banter, every scaffolder is not always okay. So check on your mate. Let's get that message out there. Let's look after each other. So grab your pick and mix, or more likely a bag of supermarket sweets thanks to the cost of living crisis around the world. Lock in and let's get started.
We're here at convention in Nashville and we're talking with Dr. Osborne. So tell me, mental health, huge topic right now. You've got a program called Check Your Mate that you're going to be telling everybody about here later on during the convention. So tell me a little bit about why the mental health is so important.
We've got awareness. Everyone's aware of mental health now. It's great. We've got this far. We need action. And the action for me starts scaffolder on scaffolder. You work with these people all day. You see more of them in your family. You should be able to spot the signs if they've got a problem or they need a bit of help. And the earlier we spot these problems, the less suicides we'll have. And we need to stop it. Like 1 in 4 construction workers, so that's 1 in 4 scaffolders, will potentially kill themselves. Someone somewhere has just taken their life, and that's a sister, a mother, a brother, a father. And the problem when people reach that point that nobody seems to want to talk about is the damage. It's the ultimate thing for them. They've reached that point, but the damage carries on. Like the hand grenade, you blow yourself up if you pull the pin, but there's 20 people in the room, they're going to get shrapnel. And they're going to get damaged. And then the potential for that is like a young child may suffer from mental health themselves, So like it ripples out. And we need to do a lot more. We need action instead of awareness. We've got awareness. It's not a corporate tick sheet. So let's start by the scaffolders talking to the scaffolders. Just check your mate. That is a simple message, but it would work. And if we all do it, we can start fixing the problem in scaffolding.
One of the big things for SAIA is safety. It's a huge core tenant for the association, and this goes hand in hand with that tenant of the SAIA. So tell me what you think the most important parts are right now and how we can get that message out there and what you're trying to do.
We'd need to talk, basically. That would be it's the most simple thing in the world. We're talking now. We're talking about this issue. That's great. But if I said to you, how are you feeling? Like that's a bit of a closed question. But if I know you well, like, do you have a good weekend? Like, how's the missus, blah, blah, blah. Like, over a day, I'll get responses where I will know a little red flag, and then we can move that forward and help people. It's just keep it simple, stupid. It is literally just talk. And if you don't know your colleagues well enough, there's something wrong, because you have to, it's a safety, we have to trust each other, working at height. If you don't trust the person you're with, you're not going to work with them. So we build that in. We build in this into toolbox talks. We could put it in what, like the safety procedures, method statements, etc. You can put a little bit in there in your, like, signposting people. It's not great, but it could just go in there when they're reading through and signing up to safety procedures. We're reminding them, if you need a bit of help, contact this charity, contact these people. And there's a global industry. We could all come together and work on this because it's a global issue. Everything in scaffolding safety-wise is global. Mental health is a serious issue because if that person as well is not thinking right, they could have an accident. If they have an accident, that could affect other people. But what we can't do is stigmatize people and say, you've reached out for help, you can't work anymore, because you take away their living and you're stigmatizing them. So it's a very fine balancing act. And without lots of conversations, we won't move this forward.
So you mentioned the toolbox talk. Tell me a little bit about how that winds up being beneficial for the scaffolders.
You're with your crew in the morning, you're talking to them. So like as a supervisor, a manager, the owner of the business, whatever. So they look to you for leadership and you're there to keep them safe. If you start saying to them, you know, if anyone's suffering, I don't need you to say now, but like, you know, hand out cards maybe for a charity or whatever. Lighthouse Charity in Europe and UK does a lot of work. They could do cards with a number on, or it's called signposting. You just tell people in the toolbox talk, look, it's okay not to be okay. And like, not every scaffolder is okay. So like, don't tell anyone now. There's no stigma with this. Start getting that idea. And if you do that regularly, you're going to need less and less of those toolbox talks, because they'll be reaching out on their own. They'll realise, and then they'll tell someone else. They may leave your firm, go to another business, but they'll say, oh, if you're struggling, well, if you do this, this and this, and then suddenly we could create a culture where we can help people. And it is a culture change we need. Like I said, we're very good at awareness. We need action. And action is to actually help people, not just say we're aware.
So your hair is a little bit shorter right now. So tell me how you wound up with your new haircut.
Well, it's grown a little bit. So obviously for Movember and Mensana, like both mental health, men's mental health especially, they obviously need money. It's a charity. So I raised money. I grew my hair for a year and then I had it shaved live on stage at Scaff Jam. We've raised £5,500, I think now, but obviously we've got some more things building off the back of that. So we're going to be doing some charity auctions for what you call soccer and things like that, and cricket. And we're going to carry on trying to raise money, because not only do we raise money, but we're raising, again, the idea that you can look after your mates. Get it out there, get the message. It's just check your mate. I've tried to make it as simple as possible, because it is a simple solution to a massive problem. And if we keep it simple, we might win.
What can people look forward to in reference to your talk when you give that today or here at the convention this week, iPod?
Unfortunately, I'm going to mention some statistics. You know, it's horrible, but there is a lot of statistics involved. But it's again, the simple message of check your mate, what we can do within our businesses and within the scaffold community globally to start getting away from the awareness, get to the action, start helping people, start moving this forward. And if one person walked away from this and gave a toolbox talk this week and saved one life, I'm so happy, because that one person is so important and they need to be here. And you know, we just fix this one person at a time. We can't fix everyone. We can't fix I get that, but if you don't do it, you'll never know. You know, so the action part, it's action over awareness. That's the main message. It's check your mate.
Fantastic. And what's been your favorite part of the SAI convention so far?
Finally arriving, because I had 2 days in Newark Airport and it was hell. I'm not into that. I felt like Tom Hanks. I was trapped. You know what I mean? But like, no. For me, obviously, so today, you know, like full day here. I've been chatting to people all day. I'm chatting about apprenticeships. I'm chatting about scaffolding, working at height, mental health. And I'm chatting with people from Canada, people from America, you know, because all the problems we face in scaffolding are global, the same. We all work at height. We all work in bad environments. We have mental health struggles, and it's the same job. Just language gets in the way sometimes, and federal law, but basically we all work the same. And again, we can all look after each other and we can move things forward. And I'm loving it. I love talking to people about it and just getting people on board to the idea. Just like I said, if we save one life in the next 2 months because of a chat today, I'm so happy.
Fantastic. Well, Dr. Scaffold, we will look forward to your presentation. Welcome to the SAI convention. We'll talk to you soon. Thank you.
Power flows to the one who knows how. Desire alone is not enough.
What's up, Doc?
He survived the surgery. It's going to be touch and go.
What's up, Doc?
Well, we're rolling. So, we're with the main man himself, Alan. Dr. Alan, no less, Osborne. The man who's going to be bravely shaving his napper all these lovely golden and some grey locks.
There's a lot of white.
Yeah, going to be going in the name of men's mental health.
Yeah, I'm donating money on the charity front to Movember and Mensana's Mental Health Collective. The Mensana side is going to be purely focused. They are only about scaffolders. Obviously, men's mental health is in the toilet. We have a crisis. 1 in 4 construction workers suffer. They say now globally it's 4 construction workers a day are dying. Actually dying. You know, like, this has got to stop. Scaffolders are at the top of the list due to the pressure of height, the environment we work in. I know a lot of people, like, online, I've had messages about, like, why is it only scaffolders? Well, it's because I'm a scaffolder. I care about my trade, which is the world's greatest trade. I don't care necessarily to raise money straight away for other trades. If we can solve scaffolding, then we can roll it out across other trades.
Yeah, that's it. I mean, there's human nature in it to look after your own kind of tribe, I suppose. And we are from the scaffolding tribe, and I think it's been something that's been sorely lacking in the scaffolding game is, just a collective effort to try and change things. And I think a lot of the time we look from the top down, and it's like, we're looking at, say, NASC or maybe Scaffolding Association, maybe CITB or some of these other organisations might get involved. And I think really what we need to start doing is going bottom up. If we want things to change, we have to change them ourselves.
Yeah, definitely. We're a fraternity. There's brothers and sisters here that are scaffolders from all around the world. This is not like an issue that's just in the UK. Yeah, so it's not a UK thing. It's not a European thing. It's a global thing. So the SAIA, I'm like Paige and Jackie, etc. We've been chatting about this, and you chat to people in South America. You chat to people, like in Australia. Mental health is mental health. We worry about working at height. It's dangerous, etc. Yeah, it's not killing as many people as mental health. And like, awareness is now a thing. Well, we're all aware. Let's move on from awareness. Let's actually do something. Try and change some things. I've done the counselling courses, etc. Now I've qualified for counselling. It's not, like this image of the scaffolder. The mental health is all about drugs and drink. That's a very British thing. The actual mental health issues are about, like, finances. There is some addiction, but there's other issues there. And it's very easy for people just to bash and hate and say, oh, yeah, it's because you're all taking drugs and drinking. There's other issues out there. It's other problems with mental health, and it affects everyone of every age differently. We need to sort it out, and we need to stop it. And the best way to do that is come together as scaffolders and show what we can do, because we are an amazing community, and this event shows that. I'm very proud to be an ambassador of this event, and I know that this is something that means something to me, and hopefully it resonates with other scaffolders.
I think sometimes, you've banged on in what you've said. I think sometimes with scaffolding, similar in sport, like you've got a lot of sports that are more like they draw from the middle classes, more like cricket and plays. Like, you don't really have the craziness that goes with the sport, maybe like boxing, and I'd see a lot of similarities. It's a very kind of full-blooded sort of environment. There's very little barrier to entry. Do you know what I mean? You can get involved in scaffolding no matter where you're from, no matter, what your background is, whether you've been to university or whether you've, never finished a day at school in your life. Everyone can get involved. And that's the great part about scaffolding. But it can be, and it's a double-edged sword, because we don't necessarily have any kind of pre-qualification to get into it. It's just like, turn up, if you work hard, you get in. Great for one thing, but the other side of it is, like, are we giving people the education before they start getting involved?
Yeah. So we have apprenticeships, we have training courses, etc. None of them mention mental health, like I said. But, like, we're not even assessing it in a risk assessment or a method statement. That's a very UK thing. But they have the certificates in like Germany, etc. And you have to do similar things. They're called different things. Nothing mentions mental health. Nobody cares, like, it seems, about mental health. And yet, if it's killing more scaffolders than working at height, that's the problem we need to fix. Like, we've controlled working at height across the world. There's different standards, different regulations, different countries. That's great. Mental health, we can actually do the same thing in every country. It's something that we just need to motivate ourselves and fix. Is there a desire? Yes, I think there is. Like, over there now in the background, we got Mr. Coles. Colesy, no stigma here.
Go on, lad.
He's done some amazing things in the UK for, like,
including a great dancer,
raising awareness for like mental health and stuff like that. And he's very open. And I think more of us need to be open. Obviously, I've expressed, like, bits where the dark dog, I call it, has cemented my life. You know, like AK Scaffolding, like very proud to sponsor them. You know, like as is open about like mental health issues and stuff like that. And do you know what? Like for all the haters out there, don't care, carry on hating. But for those that it resonates with, if you ever need help, just reach out. Like I'm not an arsehole, I'll answer the phone. I want to help people.
And I think so. What the message is really is we're going from mental health awareness to mental health action.
Yeah, I hope so. I definitely hope so. I think we've done enough for mental health awareness. That's great. Everyone's aware. You can be aware of a problem, but you need to fix that problem. You need to find solutions. And it's just as simple as, like, I don't know, you're in the drying room on site. You all right, mate? Yeah. And then he looks at you and he just goes, yeah. You know whether he's all right. You can actually say to him, no, how are you really? Are you all right? You know, like I've listed it online, etc. before. I've lost brothers, and one of them blew his brains out, for Christ's sake, and it's like over money. He owed money. You know, another lad just literally, I know, like killed himself 2 years ago, and he owed 1,500 quid. 1,500 quid. Like if I had the 1,500 quid and he rang me, I'd give it. If I had 300 quid, he would have owed 1,200, and this whole community would help. You know,
I think that's what we're not great at doing, though. I think we're not great at asking for help. Yeah. We're okay. I think when people say men don't talk about the mental health, I think we do. I think we do have conversations about it. I just don't think we ask for help because I feel like a lot of us are proud. We don't want, you know, we wouldn't take a hand out from anybody. But sometimes you need that, don't you? Sometimes you need just a bit of a steadying hand to get you back on your feet.
It's a very tough game. We all know that. And we portray an image. It's changed slightly now. We have ladies involved, etc. But the original image of the scaffold, it doesn't matter where in the world, it's a rough, tough bloke. They're big, they're strong, they're aggressive. That's great. Behind the curtain, there's issues. There's always been issues. It's not a new thing, you know, like, so this idea of mental health awareness, yeah, you're aware of it, but it's not a new thing. It's been around for years. People have suffered mental health. People have taken their own lives. You know, it's the worst thing that can happen. And I think, like, I'd rather help someone stop that, because I think what people miss is, like, you get that low down the stage that you want to take your own life. What you don't realise, when you die, I can guarantee you that people are going to be left behind and they're going to struggle and they're going to be upset. I don't know what happens in the afterlife, but I know in this life people will struggle. People will care. And then people take this action, they think that nobody cares. Everyone cares. There are people, and your mates, the mates on the scaffold that you work with, like, you can rip the piss out of each other all day long, but like, that's your mate.
Well, like you just said, that I call it a hand grenade. You know, a hand grenade. If you stood here and held a hand grenade and it went off, you're gone. But that fragmented, you know, mess goes everywhere, and it's not just you that gets it. It's, you know, it has a knock-on effect across your mates, your family, your friends, everything. So it's, you know, it's massive what you're doing, and really appreciate it. And I think the more we can sort of get things like this out there, hopefully we can start making some change. And then tomorrow you're going to look like me.
I've got more hair than you. I won't be quite as tall as you.
Yeah, he can. That's damning, isn't it? He could shave his head and still be less bald than me. One of those.
I'm also older.
Please don't struggle alone. If you need help, reach out. Samaritans, anyone. It's, you know, hard. And people are struggling. I don't care what you want to put in the comments. You know, they're all, I don't know, we're just all idiots and we shouldn't struggle, and yeah, it's all soft people and all that, and scaffolders are hard and nobody suffers. If you believe that, fine. I hope you never, ever suffer any issues from mental health, and you have a wonderful life. If you are struggling, don't carry the burden on your own. It's a lot easier for people to share those burdens and carry them than it is to carry a casket. Yeah, stay strong.